Hello there and welcome. This is, as always, Mikhail or Michael speaking, and before the video starts, I want to say thank you all who decided to support me financially, be it through Patreon, PayPal or Super Thanks. Now, as always, today's video I will start with the city of Avdiivka, where, as I speak, multiple storming operations all across the town is ongoing with relative success. First, let's discuss the situation in the northern part of the city, in which Russian forces were able to successfully advance yet again, establish their control of more portions of the city, reach and cut off this rail line with this bridge, and are currently fighting to expand their zone of control within the city even more. Here on your screen, you can see exactly how much territories Russians were able to acquire within the last 24 hours. If we zoom in to assess the situation, we can see that Russian forces were able to capture even more streets and city blocks, and are currently attacking along these shown streets. Recent footages suggests that Ukrainians are desperately counterattacking Russian forces with the use of heavy armor, but it seems they ran out of time. Russians had already successfully entrenched themselves within the city, thus making the use of armored vehicles such as tanks completely useless. Like I said in the previous video, the most important battle is currently happening around this bridge. As you can see, as I reported yesterday, Russians were able to significantly advance here in this area. At this point in time, although the bridge is in Russian hands, it is still too close to the zero line, and the control over it may be lost at any moment. For that sole reason, Russians are continuously storm across the rail line in attempt to expand their zone of control and not allow Ukrainians to successfully counterattack and regain positions along the rail line. Again, at this point in time, the rail line serves as a defensive line for the Ukrainians. At least it served in this portion of it. But now it is the Russians who are using it for their further attacks in the direction of Avdeevka coke plant and auto base located here. It is due to the intensity of fighting. There were reports that Ukrainians completely left this dacha area, leaving it in the gray zone, and currently Russians are fighting for it, so that then they can use it as a staging point for further advances in this area. When it comes to the pro-Ukrainian sources, for example, on this pro-Ukrainian map, there were reported territorial changes in favor of Russians. For example, here was the situation of yesterday, and here is the situation of today, with those territories coming in under Russian control. As you can see, although they did not acknowledge further Russian advances within the residential areas, they did acknowledge the Russians cutting off the rail line and capturing the bridge. If we use this ruler, we can see that Russians are currently at 700 meters from completely splitting Ukrainian defenses in two separate portions. It is perhaps in relation to this. There were several reports of Ukrainians slowly but surely withdrawing from other portions of the town to the 9th quartile located here, as it is the most fortified area and will provide Ukrainian forces here with more suitable and well-defended positions. Now, of course, this doesn't mean full retreat of the Ukrainian formations from all the outskirts of Avdiivka as well as from its southern parts. Ukrainians still control a significant amount of fortifications here in this area, and leaving them without a fight isn't something that Ukrainians are looking forward to. So it seems they will continue to fight, continue to counterattack, but as soon as the situation becomes more and more dire, they will retreat, thus preserving soldiers, allowing them to fight in the next battle. In case if the city will be split in two, there is going to be only one road that would lead to the 9th quartile. It will start from here and either go from Lastishkina or Severne. But in any way, as you can see, Russians already established full fire control over this road, ensuring that the road of life will quickly turn into the road of death. Also, in relation to the recent Russian advances, it would seem that Ukrainians started to mine buildings within Avdiivka city in a manner that they have in Bakhmut city. It seems that all of the illusions that Ukrainians would be able to hold Avdiivka have been shattered, and Ukrainian forces are slowly but surely preparing for evacuation. When it comes to the situation on the northern flank, Russian forces were able to advance to the north of Apitne and capture this big chunk of territory with a stronghold located on the hill 218. With the control over this territory and the stronghold, Russian forces will be able to launch attacks not only in the direction of Avdiivka proper, where only one tree line stands in between advancing Russians and defenders of the 9th quartile, which is again located here, but also this concludes a semi-encirclement of both anti-air strongholds, Cheburashka, and so-called Vinogradniki, or vineyard. These three strongholds proved troublesome for the advancing Russians, as all of the attempts to capture it were denied by Ukrainian resistance. At this point in time, not only do I want to know your opinion on the whole situation here, but I also want to ask you to consider supporting this video by pressing that like button, commenting, and of course, if you haven't subscribed, subscribing. Not only will this help spread the message, but it would also help this channel's growth. Thank you for considering it, and let's move on. Let's quickly discuss situation in Pervomaiske and Nivelske. Again, like in Avdeevka, the full initiative belongs to the Russians as they attack along Vadiane and from Piski in the general goal of reaching Netailove, thus consolidating this entire front line, but also attacked in the direction of Nivelske. As I speak, fighting here continues without any territorial changes. However, I have a video for you of a Russian tank attacking in the direction of this stronghold that is located in front of Nivelske, and generally stops Russians from advancing in the direction of this said village. On the video you can see advancing Russian tanks as they drive along the roads under the cover of tree lines. As you can see, completely unchallenged by Ukrainian artillery or aviation. So moving undisturbed, they reach the field and opened fire on Ukrainian positions located in that stronghold. So perhaps soon we will hear news of Russians capturing it completely. Then from here, let's discuss situation in the town of Mykhailivka. Yesterday I reported of a successful Russian assault here in this area. However, the news were extremely fresh and it was unclear where exactly Russians were able to advance. Now we do know that, and those are the territories Russian forces were able to capture in the last 24 hours. This marks yet another attempt of the Russian forces to enter and capture Mykhailivka. So if Ukrainians are not to localize this recent Russian territorial development, Russian forces will surely able to advance even more, not only from the east but also from the south and north. Again, the storming operations of this town just started, and there is little to no result to speak of, and now it is up to Ukrainian capability of defending this town. If they are capable, Russians will once again retreat. If not, Mykhailivka might fall within weeks. From Mykhailivka, let's quickly discuss situation in the general Lyman direction, where Russian forces continued their general offense in the direction of Torske, Zarichne, Yampolivka, and Terny. Here they attacked across the wide front in attempt to reach those said settlements. While their attacks were repelled near Torske and Zarichne, Russian forces, however, were able to advance in the direction of both Terny and Yampolivka. First, they were able to expand their zone of control over this pretty big forest, within which they are currently attacking in attempt to reach Terny, as well as advance within this forest area as well. Here too, Russians are using foliage and thickness of trees to advance in the direction of Terny. With those attacks, Russians are also advancing within these two forests in the direction of Yampolivka, with constant Ukrainian counterattacks, unable to stop them at the moment. With this I end today's video. Hopefully it was to your liking and informative enough. As always, humanity calls me to condemn all violence against human beings. Have a good day, and always remember, Russia will be free and great.